Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I want to let you in on a little secret today about this false sense of identity, this false sense that feels separate from the divine, and how to be with that, or maybe I should actually say how to not be with that. And it's something I've been working with for a long time. And as I do that, there's more and more clarity, more and more seeing. And I will do my best to share that with you. We are so conditioned, at least those of us who really want to be free and do the inner work and want to make a difference in the world, get rid of our ego. Those of us, we are very, very committed to freedom. And of course, that's a beautiful thing. What I see in myself, in my clients, in my friends, in everybody basically, is that this separate sense of self, it's basically just a veil. That is the veil, right? The illusion, the veil of illusion. There is something that is covering us. And it's not just covering our eyes, it's covering every part in our body, every sense, every one of the five senses. It is covering it so that when we look out through our eyes or listen out through our ears or smell through our nose, feel through our hands and body, we are doing it through a veil. We are not this veil. And it is difficult to really grasp that the best way to get rid of, and I don't mean that in a way that we need to get rid of it, because then I would still be out in this veil, trying to get rid of you and doing something with it. And as I so often have talked about, when we try and get rid of or do all that, we're feeding it energy. And so all we're doing is engaging with this veil or this piece of saran wrap. And it will stay there. It's not going to go away as long as we engage in it that way. And something I also like to mention over and over is that, from my point of view, is that the only the only beneficial engagement with it is to soften our grip around it. So that means if there is a deep piece of trauma, pain, attachment to this veil, it's no good to try and figure it out, what it is and how to fix it or get rid of it. No, it is a matter of finding out where and how we glom onto it. So the best way is when you can really experience what it is in you. What is that energy, that energetic attachment that wants to engage with what we don't know is a veil, but it is the veil. What we are identifying or trying to engage with is this belief that the veil is who we are. And therefore, it is hard to just say, oh, I'm just going to stop engaging. That's simple. Why didn't you just say that right away? Well, it's because it is not that simple. Because built into the veil is the belief and the energy that we need to keep engaging with it. So it's not just a matter of, oop, no, because there is something built into the veil that says, oh no, you can't just do that. You can't just do that. So we need to recognize that. We need to catch that. It's like, oh, when I go there, there's an immediate, it's like there's a pull, like um, a seduction, a seductive energy to go in and do something with it and not like it and believe it, especially those really uh, heavy emotions like shame and doubt and guilt, they're heavy. So they're not just something you can just, let go of because they penetrate every cell in our body. So that's why we do need to go in and soften these heavy these heavy emotional attachments and beliefs that, oh, it's awful. And you can probably recognize it with whatever flavor you have. That's where we are trapped. And in that trap, it's almost like there is a way to prevent us from getting out of it. So it's pretty convoluted. It's not just like one snap out of it. It's a process, it's a journey that we just need to keep going over and moving through so we can let go of this and open it and soften it. And then when we do this more and more, then you can start seeing it for what it is. When you're here, you can't see it. You are fully identified with it. But eventually, the more we soften the grip, we can see it. And that's what I'm sharing. Like I can see it's just like it's a layer of saran wrap that feels so real when it's kind of it's covering every part of my body. There's an energy in there that makes it feel real, right? And it's the feeling that we get lost in, and then we don't like the feeling, so then we want to do something about it. So we keep getting back into this um, cycling, and we don't get out of it. So my invitation again is the invitation is to offer you a new way of being with it. And that way is to not engage with it anymore. When I say that, I want to invite you to feel what happens in you with that suggestion. It's like, yeah, don't engage in it anymore. It's almost like I'm putting in a little probe. We use probes in the work that I do as a therapist, as a Hakomi therapist. We will drop in a little sentence or a little probe just to see how the body, how the person, what the response is, what arises in that, because then we can work with that, right? So it's kind of an invitation to bring it up to the surface, whatever is underneath there, and then we can see it. It's like, oh, now I see, and then we can work with it because now it's conscious, right? So as we well, let me actually just say it in a way. I want to spend a little more time here. If I say to you, so right now I'm going to do a little Hakomi probe, and just for you to notice whatever shows up, whatever comes to meet this little sentence that I'm going to say, and that's going to be a clue. So, just be curious. It's not right or wrong. You can't do it right or wrong. It's just like, oh, this shows up when I hear this. So, notice what happens when I say, you don't need to engage with it anymore. What arises in you? What starts mobilizing inside? What contracts? What expands? What shifts? What do you notice? This information is worth gold because that is the hook that keeps you imprisoned and embedded in the false matrix, in this veil. So the more we can make it conscious, now we can work with it. So maybe maybe your reaction is like, no, that would be a bypass. Yeah, I can see it could be, and I totally agree, but it doesn't have to be. In the beginning, you can't just let it go because we need to do some work with that first. So if we don't do that work, that inner work, then it would be a bypass. Yeah. But if you can also be present with, what else is there? Maybe there's fear, maybe there's joy, relief. So we stay with that. And then we can start kind of like scooping out all the gunk, all the unconscious, all the things in the shadows, that they can come up. And some of that will exactly be like, I can't just let that go. I have to fix it first. Or, who am I to just let it go? I'm a bad person, or I did all these bad things in the past, and I have to go over that over and over and make myself wrong for that. I think I just exposed a little bit about what goes on in the unconscious that we are not aware of. And when it becomes conscious, then you go like, well, what's the point of that? That I beat myself up for something I did years ago. What good is that going to do? So, we just make it more conscious. And in that, we can soften the grip, and then we can eventually leave this saran wrap, this false matrix veil. We create more and more distance from it. And then, of course, we turn back towards ourselves and find out, well, what is here without the veil, without all those hypnotic suggestions, without all those negative, limiting beliefs about myself and about the world. What is here when I start disengaging from that? So I feel moved to share that with you today, just like an invitation, like just consider letting it go, even for an hour. It's going to come right back like, no, you have to think about me. No, you have to engage with me. And you say, no, not right now. You take a breath, just allow that. It's like, oh, there's actually some space here. That's really nice. So then you start embodying more and connecting more with who you truly are without getting lost in this very seductive piece of saran wrap. Please let me know in the comments. Let me know how you respond to this, what came up for you with that little probe that I offered you. I'm very curious how that landed, what reasoning or what experience or what feelings, emotions, memories, what showed up. Because whatever showed up, that is what keeps us hooked into that veil, that false matrix. Please like, subscribe, and share if you resonate with this. And always, please reach out to me if you need some support in that letting go of the false matrix, of the saran wrap, so you can start seeing what is actually here. Here. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today.